Hey there, welcome back to Hebrew Academy, the home of smart study strategies and exam success. Today we are diving deep into one of the most tested and sometimes tricky subjects, biology. Whether you're preparing for Post-UTME or you just want to level up your science knowledge, we are in the right place. In this video, I'll be breaking down key biology questions, revealing tips on how to solve them fast, and showing you how to avoid the common traps students fall into. So grab your pen, sit tight, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss out on future tutorials that can boost your scores. Let's jump in. The first question for today says, which of the following is a major characteristics of all living things? Which of the following is a major characteristics of all living organisms? A. Ability to walk. B. Possession of eyes. C. Cellular organization. D. Presence of brain. Now the correct answer is the cellular organization. Reason being that living organisms come in different forms, from simple bacteria to complex humans. Despite their diversity, all living things are made up of cells, which are the basic structural and functional unit of life. This is known as the cellular organization. A bacterium is a single-celled organism. Humans and plants are multicellular organisms. Viruses are exceptions, hence they are not considered living things until they infect a host, which is why cellular organization is used as a major criterion to define life. So option A, B, and D are not universal because not all organisms have leg to walk. Example, you have your fish, you have fungi, or you have plants. Also eyes. Many microbes don't have eyes. Or brains, plants, insects, and other organisms may lack true brain, but all living things have them. Therefore, the correct option is option C, cellular organization. Question 2 says, the part of the plant where most photosynthesis take place is the dash. The part of the plant where most photosynthesis take place is the option A says roots, option B stem, option C flower, and D leaf. The correct answer is the leaf, because the leaf is a plant's food factory. It contains numerous chloroplasts, which are organelles housing the chlorophyll, the green pigment responsible for absorbing sunlight. Through photosynthesis, the leaf converts carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen, using sunlight as energy. The roots absorb water and minerals but do not perform photosynthesis. Stem, on the other hand, they transport water and nutrients and may photosynthesize a little in green stems, but not primarily. Flowers are reproductive structures. Now the leaf is adapted with a large surface area for light absorption. It has a stomata for gas exchange. It has thinness for diffusion and a network of veins for transport. The correct option is the leaf, option D. Question 3 says, which of these organisms is an autotroph? Which of these organisms is an autotroph? A. Paramecium, B. Euglena, C. Mushroom, and D. Mosquitoes. The correct option is the Euglena. Now, when we talk about autotrophs, autotrophs are organisms that can manufacture their own food from simple substances like carbon dioxide and water, usually using sunlight. or chemical energy. When they use sunlight, it is called photosynthesis, and when they use chemical energy, it is called chemosynthesis. Euglena is a single-celled protist that contains chloroplast, enable it to photosynthesize like plants. That makes Euglena special. It has the characteristics of both plant and animal. In sunlight, it can use chlorophyll to make its own food. In darkness, the Euglena can absorb nutrients from its environment like animals. On the other hand, paramecium and mosquitoes are heterotrophs. Mushroom is a saprophyte. It feeds on decaying matter, not autotroph. Mushroom is not an autotroph, it is a saprophyte. It feeds on dead and decaying organic matter. The organelle responsible for energy production in animal cell is the dash. The organelle responsible for animal production, for energy production in animal cell is the A, we have the nucleus, B, we have the ribosome, C, we have the mitochondrion, D, we have the lysosome. The correct answer is the mitochondrion. Reason being that it is known as the powerhouse of the cell because it is the site of aerobic respiration, a process that breaks down glucose using oxygen to produce ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. That's the forming of ATP, the energy currency of the cell. Without ATP, cellular processes like movement, active transport, and growth will stop. The mitochondria are double-membraned and contain their own DNA. Cells that need a lot of energy like the muscles or the nerve cell, they contain many mitochondria. The nucleus controls the cell. The ribosomes make proteins and the lysosomes digest waste. None of them generates energy except the mitochondria. Question 5 says, which of the following diseases is not caused by a virus? Which of the following diseases is not caused by a virus? Option A, we have polio. B, we have measles. C, tuberculosis. D, HIV and AIDS. The correct answer is tuberculosis. The tuberculosis, abbreviated as TB, is caused by a bacterium known as the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It affects the lungs and spread through air droplets. It can be treated with antibiotics, which only works against bacteria. You know, the antibiotics vaccine only fights against bacteria. Other options like polio. Polio is caused by the polio virus, which affects nerves and can lead to paralysis. Measles is a viral infection. It causes rashes and fever on the patient's body. HIV and AIDS is caused by the human immunodeficiency virus, which attacks the immune system. So TB, which is a tuberculosis, is not a viral disease. Tuberculosis is caused by a bacterium. Question 6 says, which blood component is responsible for clotting? Which blood component is responsible for clotting? A says the red blood cells, B, white blood cells, C, platelets, and D, plasma. The correct answer is platelets. Platelets are also called the thrombocytes. They are small fragments of cells that play a key role in blood clotting. When you get a cut or wound, what platelets do is that they gather at the sites. They release enzymes that triggers a chain reaction. Fibrin threads form a mesh that traps blood cell and form a clot. This prevents excessive bleeding and protects the patient or the person against infection. The red blood cells, their major function is that they carry oxygen. The white blood cell fight against pathogens, and the plasma is a fluid that carries all of these components. So the correct option there is not red blood cell, is not white blood cell, is not plasma. The correct answer is the platelets. They are responsible for blood clotting. Question 7 says, what is the primary function of the xylem in plants? What is the primary function of the xylem in plants? A. Transport of food. B. Transport of water. C. Photosynthesis. And D. Support and storage only. Now, xylem is a plant tissue responsible for transport of water and dissolved minerals from the roots to the leaves. And this is vital for 1. Photosynthesis. Leaf need water, so the next is for turgidity. It helps to keep the plants upright. And the third one is cooling, for transpiration. Now, xylem cells are dead and hollow, forming long tubes reinforced with lectin, which also provides structural support. The phylum, not xylem, transports food sugar from leaves to other parts of the plant. So the correct option there is the transport of water, B. Xylem does not transport food. Xylem does not carry out photosynthesis. What they do is they transport water. So you have option B to be the correct answer. Question 8 says, in which part of the human digestive system does the digestion of proteins begin? In which part of the human digestive system does the digestion of proteins begin? Option A says the mouth. Option B, esophagus. Option C, stomach. Option D, small intestine. The correct answer is the stomach. Reason being that the protein digestion starts in the stomach, not the mouth. The mouth secretes what they call the hydrochloric acid, HCl. It provides the acidic environment. The pepsinogen, an inactive enzyme that is activated to pepsin in the presence of HCl, which is the hydrochloric acid. Pepsin now, it breaks down long protein chains into smaller peptides. Food digestion is completed in the small intestine. It is only carbohydrates that begins digestion in the mouth. The esophagus is just a pathway. So the correct answer there is option C, the stomach. Digestion of proteins begins or starts in the stomach and not the mouth. Question 9 says, which of the following is an example of a recessive genetic disorder? Which of the following is an example of a recessive genetic disorder? Option A says malaria. B, sickle cell anemia. C, Down syndrome. And D, AIDS. The correct answer is the sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia is a hereditary disease caused by a recessive gene. For a child to be affected, both parents must pass on the sickle cell gene. The person becomes homozygous recessive and will show symptoms like fatigue, joint pain, risks of organ damage due to misshaped red blood cell. Other options like malaria. Malaria is just a parasitic disease. Down syndrome results from chromosomal abnormality, not gene mutation. AIDS is acquired and not inherited. Question 10 says, Which of the following is a function of the kidney? Which of the following is a function of the kidney? A. Production of red blood cells. B. Regulation of blood sugar. C. Excretion of nitrogenous waste. And D. Digestion of proteins. The correct option here is option C. Excretion of nitrogenous waste. Now the kidney filters urea, it filters uric acid, ammonia and excess salt from the blood and excrete them as urine. These are nitrogenous waste formed from the breakdown of proteins. Additional kidney functions include 1. Maintaining water and electrolyte balance. 2. Regulating blood pressure. 3. Secreting hormones which stimulates red blood cell production but doesn't make them directly. Other organs, you have the pancreas. The pancreas, they regulate blood sugar using insulin. The liver helps in protecting digestion. The liver helps in protein digestion. The next option there, the red blood cells are made in bone marrows and not kidney. So the correct option here is C, excretion of nitrogenous waste. And is a wrap on today's biology tutorial. I hope you learned something new and feel more comfortable and confident tackling your Post-UTME questions. If this video helped you, don't forget to smash the like button, drop a comment below if you have any question, and subscribe so you never miss any part of our free tutorials. Thank you for watching, and remember, at Hebrew Academy, we don't just study hard, we study smart. See you in the next one.